My 5,000 euro house is simple, and that's what makes it so complicated.
It's best to start with the basics. I need a roof.
My neighbors Ivana and Igor came to unveil the concrete we had poured the day before at the apex of the house. That beautiful concrete. Since that was looking as it should, we took out our apex beam and started drilling holes in it and making sure it was level. When he was sure everything was in order, Igor sanded it down precisely. Looking very shiny on both sides. When the sanding was complete, we took out the stain and used it to paint all of the edges of the beams. This, of course, was to look beautiful and protect it from the elements. Just as we were finishing up, the neighborhood boys came riding up the trail. We still needed to clear the top path to the house. It's really confusing out here because the path is dead, so we're basically building a new one from scratch. It had been decades since anybody had used this path, but it needed to be clear if I wanted running water. Enter Leonardo, my volunteer firefighter neighbor. Of course, he brought his weed whacker, and he and the local boys were gonna try to make this path clear, one way or another. But I had to go back down the hill and check on Igor and Ivana. Igor was trying to use this string to check his work.
This is for the fish.
For the fish?
Yeah, we're fishing now.
He lowered his weight down to check if the apex lined up with the other beams, but it wasn't looking good. It turns out he was about 2 centimeters off and had to make some adjustments. Yeah! Looking absolutely perfect now. Then Patrick and his dad came up with supplies for the big terrace. So over here is supposed to be a huge deck. It's going to be held up with concrete pillars in these 15 holes. That is going to be a lot of concrete, and we're going to get right on it tomorrow morning. Igor started to measure out the old beams that we had saved from the original roof. They were looking good, but they were dark, and we wanted to sand them so they could be restained. Unfortunately, they only got about halfway done before they had to go for the day. Then when some of the boys came back down to adjust the chainsaw, I remembered. I wonder what kind of progress they were making with Leonardo. They had been working for hours trying to make a way through the forest, and they were making a pretty good team, despite all of the obstacles. This massive tree fell, and it's right in the middle of the path. Eventually, the chainsaw had cut that tree into pieces and we moved it out of the way. Yes, they had successfully created a new path, at least for a small four-wheeler. Absolutely amazing. Now we just need to bring the excavator up here to dig the channel for the water line. After everyone went home, it was just me sanding the beams on the roof until it started to get dark. Follow this page to see what happens next.